They sent me a $12,000 check with a note that said, "Thanks for not showing up." And it was from the person I slept with last night. They FedEx'd me a package early in the morning, like, "I'm barely awake. I'm still in that half asleep, what day is it?" state, and there's this heavy envelope sitting outside my door. I honestly thought it was something boring. Work paperwork, a wrong address, whatever. I open it, and my stomach just drops. Inside, there's a cashier's check for $12,000, a stack of papers with NDA at the top, basically, shut up and don't tell anyone. A little card with one line written in marker, "Thanks for not showing up." And on top of everything, my engagement ring, mine, the one with our engraving, the ring that was supposed to be on my fiance's hand. My fiance's name is Maya. We live together. We're engaged. And I'm just standing in my hallway thinking, is this a prank? Did someone mix up packages? Or is this someone politely telling me my life is over and here's the payout? I call Maya immediately. She doesn't pick up right away. When she finally answers, she sounds half asleep. "Are you home?" I ask. "Yeah. Why?" I tell her about the check, the NDA, the card, the ring. There's this pause. Not like, "What are you talking about?" Not nervous laughter, just silence for a few seconds. Then she says, really flat, "Don't touch anything. Don't sign anything. I'm coming." And I'll be honest, when someone says don't touch it, that doesn't sound like confusion. That sounds like they already know exactly what it is. So I look at the paperwork again. There's a company name I've never heard of and an address in the suburbs. And there's a time stamped on it like an appointment. Today, 5 p.m. And yeah, the first thought in my head is the obvious one. The gross one. Okay, she cheated. She got caught. And now someone's paying me to disappear. But then, why send me the ring? Why the "thanks for not showing up"? Not showing up where? To what? None of it makes sense. So I do the thing you're not supposed to do. I don't wait for her. I grab my keys and I drive to the address. I pull up and it's a wedding. I'm not exaggerating. There's an arch, flowers everywhere, a guy in a vest doing valet, string music, people in nice clothes walking into this huge house, like a mini mansion. Everything looks expensive in that very specific way where you can tell the budget is "don't ask." I'm standing there trying to process it, and then I see Maya. She steps out of the house wearing a bridesmaid dress, hair done, makeup done, the whole thing. And the weirdest part, she looks at me like I'm not crashing anything. Like she expected me. She walks right over, grabs my arm, and she says quietly but really firmly, "Please, not here." I'm like, "Maya, what is this? Whose wedding is this?" And she goes, "It's work." Work. Sure, totally normal job. I push harder. I ask the question I didn't want to ask out loud. "Are you with someone?" And she doesn't deny it. She doesn't defend herself. She just says, "If you go inside right now, it gets worse," which honestly made me even more furious. Because worse how? Worse for who? I'm already standing outside a wedding with my ring in my hand and 12 grand in my pocket. Then I show her the card. "Thanks for not showing up." For the first time, her face actually changes, like she goes pale for a second. She says, "That wasn't meant for you. It ended up with you." And then she adds, "That check is to make you go away." At that point, I barely even hear her because I look past her and I see the groom. And it's not some random guy. It's Dan, my boss. I work EMS. Dan is my supervisor. The same guy who told me a month ago, "You're doing great. I've got your back." And now he's standing there in a suit, smiling, shaking hands, doing the whole groom thing, while my fiancée is literally in the bridal party, and someone paid me to not show up. I swear I didn't even feel anger right away. I just felt unplugged, like my brain couldn't load what was happening. Maya pulls me around the side of the house where it's quieter, and she goes, "Listen, Dan isn't who you think he is, and this isn't about him cheating." And that's when things take a turn I did not see coming. She tells me it's an investigation, like a real one, a private firm, the company on the paperwork, the bride hired them. She didn't just suspect Dan was messing around. She suspected something bigger, and the wedding was basically a trap, a final setup where everything is controlled and everything is recorded. I ask, "What are you doing in it?" And she says something that didn't fully hit me until later. "Because he recognizes me." Meaning, if Dan sees her in the wrong context, he gets suspicious. So she has to be there in a way that looks normal, like she belongs. And that's when I ask the worst question. "You knew it was him before the FedEx, didn't you?" She doesn't answer. She just looks at the ground, and that silence told me everything. So she knew. She lived with me, talked wedding plans with me, laughed with me at home, while knowing I might get blindsided like this. I say, "So you picked the job over me." And she says, "I picked making sure he gets caught." It sounds noble when you say it fast. It did not feel noble standing there. Then she pulls up this app on her phone, multiple camera feeds from inside the house, and she goes, "Watch." On the screen, Dan slips down a hallway. A woman in a black dress follows him, and I recognize her too. Tara, a nurse from the hospital. People had whispered about her for a while. My brain immediately goes, "Okay, here it is. The affair. That's the story." But no, they don't kiss. They don't hug. Dan hands her a folder, something thick. She flips through it fast and starts taking pictures of the pages. Maya says, "He's selling information." And apparently, yeah, patient info, insurance stuff, internal schedules, things that can be exploited. Tara is the middleman. So suddenly this isn't a "my fiancé cheated" story. It's a "my boss is running something dirty" story. And honestly, at that moment, the cheating part almost didn't even matter. I just felt sick. Then I ask her one more thing, because by now I need to know how deep this goes. "What about me? Was I part of this too?" And she says really quietly, "At first, yes." She didn't meet me by accident. I was in Dan's orbit. I was useful. The relationship started as a way to get closer to him. And then, she says, it became real. She fell for me. She tried to get out. But when it came time to finish the operation, she stayed because if she left, Dan might get spooked and walk. So yeah, I'm standing there realizing I wasn't just betrayed. I was recruited. Inside the house, things start shifting. You can tell something is happening. People moving, the vibe changing. The bride grabs a microphone. Security stiffens up. A couple guys show up who do not look like guests. Maya holds out the NDA and a pen and says, "Sign it. Take the money. Leave. Please." And I don't have some superhero moment. I'm not proud of this. But something in me just snapped. Because if I sign it, it's like I'm agreeing to all of it. Like my life is something you can manage with a check in a legal form. So I don't sign. I tear it in half. Like a child. Like an idiot. But in that moment, it felt like the only thing I had control over. And that's when Maya finally breaks. Not in a dramatic way. Just her eyes fill up. She can't breathe right for a second. Her shoulders drop. I don't even know what to say. I just get in my car and leave. I thought that was the end. It wasn't. A couple days later, another envelope shows up. Regular mail this time. Inside is another check, same amount, and a note with one line that made my skin crawl. We're sorry. Your footage tested extremely well. At first, I didn't even understand what that meant. Then I found out the investigation footage wasn't just for court. The bride, who by the way is an attorney, was also packaging everything into a true crime-style project, a private streaming thing. Real stories, real reactions. That kind of content, meaning they filmed me too. My face, my shock, me holding the ring in my hand. The worst part, I didn't even hear it from them. About a week later, I'm scrolling online, and I see a clip. Faces blurred, voices changed. But I recognize myself because I have this dumb habit. When I'm nervous, I rub the engraving on the ring with my thumb. I do it without thinking, and there I am, doing it on camera. The comments are what really finished me off. Wow, this feels like a movie. Poor guy, but at least justice. I'd sign for 12K, not gonna lie. And that's when it hit me. This wasn't just someone cheating. It wasn't even just an investigation. They turned my relationship, my breakdown, into content, into a retention graph, into a moment that performs. Maya and I aren't together anymore. She texted a couple times, stuff like, I'm sorry. I never replied. Not because I'm tough, but because, what do you even say to someone who started loving you as a job and then still let your life get used like this? And the creepiest thought I keep having is this. If that FedEx never showed up, I might have married her, and I would have lived the rest of my life never knowing it started as an assignment.